Hi, folks, and welcome to A More Civilized Age. My name is Matt, of course. I'm your host, and basically co-host, I guess, would be Ryan. Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. It is just like the two of us remaining now, because Geeks Addict just decided once he really enjoyed Rise of Skywalker that he just couldn't come back here. So Matthew from the Geeks Addict is no longer with us. R.I.P. Matthew. He's not dead, but he just doesn't come on the show anymore. But I'm always happy to be here, Matt.
Chris has two twins, so he can't join. Actually, I don't know. He may be here. I don't know. He may accept my invitation later on.
It is good that he has two twins and not just one. Meaning,
I'm sorry. He has twins. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. But
it's two sets of twins. He just got a new one.
He got a new set. Look out! Congratulations to him. And then we also have from Twin Sons Foundation. Speaking of twins, they aren't twins, but they're both from Twin Sons Foundation. The Vice President and El Presidente, Dylan and Brian. Welcome, guys.
How's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dylan just goes, yes. Dylan doesn't want to say anything. Dylan doesn't want to talk much because whenever I see his background, I think he's at a mental asylum because there's just nothing on the wall anywhere, just like an old couch. So there's actually a nurse walking in front of him that he doesn't want to disturb.
They're on to you.
He could be anywhere right now. That could be in one of my rooms right now. He just removed the pictures. And he just set up that couch. That's all that he has. And
they don't let him have his shoelaces there either.
We have a fun topic that is not fun for anyone to talk about, but I did want to talk about because I hear this all the friggin' time. People keep arguing on whether you should keep Dave Filoni's Clone Wars as part of the Legends universe as well. Mainly the first, 6 seasons before it got originally canceled. And so I thought we'd address that. We haven't talked about it yet. So I don't really, I don't know. Maybe someone's going to disagree with me and that's fine. So I want to just start first with this topic. I think all of us can say we don't like Filoni's Clone Wars. Is that,
I agree. For the most part, I really don't like the series. I think there's parts of it. There's episodes that are interesting.
Really great. When he deals just with clones, I love it.
I wouldn't say I love it, but I think there are great moments. You know what I mean? And even some Anakin and Obi-Wan stuff, there are some good things. Overall, I don't really like the relationship that Obi-Wan and Anakin have in that, especially when you like. The problem with Filoni's Clone Wars is it doesn't fit in the movies. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is it doesn't. If you watch episode 2 and you watch episode 3, then you watch Clone Wars, you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
that is the biggest problem.
If you watch it all in chronological order, 3 would be like, wait, what? What are they talking about? What's going on? Because nothing would make sense because it doesn't connect very well at all with 3. In fact, it's really terrible. So, and there's a lot of problems. I mean, there's some things I like. I like Cad Bane. I'm a Cad Bane. I thought he was nice.
Cad Bane, good character.
There's a lot of episodes I like. I can't stand Ahsoka. And I don't think that he did anything with Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship. It was terrible. The rapport between the two. I thought and I said this all in my review a long time ago, that there were just episodes that were just mind-numbingly dumb. It's like
with Jar Jar.
In the office this day when they made this episode, did no one care? Some 3-year-old snuck in there. What, Patty Jenkins from Wonder Woman? Did she write a few of these episodes?
I think they had some people that wrote the Ewoks series. Come in and ghostwrite a little bit.
Whoa! We're a more civilized age here.
That's a national treasure there.
It's so easy to trigger Matt. Talk bad about Ewoks. Talk bad about Lando Calrissian. Talk bad about that one trilogy that no one cares about. That's just a pain to read through.
The Darksaber was okay. That was an okay book.
I'm actually
sorry. We're talking about Black Fleet Crisis. That's right, Black Fleet.
I miss Matthew, the Geek Addict now.
I was gonna say, it sounds to me like you're trying to lose your other host here.
Lose my long-term host. You know these fandom ministers, they hate everything.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
So the thing about Clone Wars is kind of the debate of removing it is I've kind of seen two, like, maybe not necessarily extremes, but like degrees of which people remove it. Because there are some people who say just remove the series itself. There's other people who say remove the series and its tie-ins. And I've actually seen a lot more of the latter one in recent years than when a lot of this started. Okay,
so Dylan, since you interrupted, I'll let you go first. Which one? Well, when Dylan speaks, everyone's quiet. Which one? Do you agree with one of those, or do you think we should keep it?
I think I disagree with both of them, but I think if you are going to do one of them, you have to remove it all, because removing the tie-ins fixes a lot of the problems that removing it completely does, but it doesn't fix all of the problems that removing it completely does.
Okay. Brian?
I think that's a valid stance. I also agree that you shouldn't. I disagree with both of those stances, to be honest, just like Dylan does, but I think if you're removing the series, you have to remove everything that ties directly into that series that was made to do that. Otherwise, it's just kind of floating there, left on its own.
Okay. Ryan?
I think that I don't like it. I don't like that it is a part of the expanded universe, but it is.
Right.
And I feel that way about some other things, too. You know, there are some other books, whether it's because they were written maybe before the prequels, or maybe they're just not very good, or maybe just some big mistakes happened, that there are continuity issues, or the story's not good, but it's still it's still part of the expanded universe. And, you know, I think that it's interesting to have these little debates and stuff, but the bottom line is it is part. It's shared canon. And it is part of the expanded universe, unfortunately. And listen, we call it Filoni's Clone Wars, and we all know Filoni had a huge part to play, and that George, for a lot of it, was, you know, just the overseer, the guy they brought stuff to, ran stuff by. He's like, oh, okay, and kind of let it go, right? But George did make a lot of decisions specifically in Clone Wars, certain episode arcs, things like that. So, you know, he was behind some of it as well. Unfortunately, it is Legends, it is expanded universe, and I think it's got to stay that way, in my opinion, even though there's a lot of problems.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everyone, and for a lot of the reasons of what Ryan just said there too. I don't think you do either. I think removing all the tie-ins is a little hard. Fate of the Jedi, anyone? Yeah. So I mean that's kind of an integral part. And by the way, I hated those Clone Wars episodes when they came out. I absolutely despise that story. And then here I am reading Fate of the Jedi going, crap. You know, I mean, because then, but I'm like Ryan, you have to accept it. You have to, because the good and the bad. I also believe, and I may be doing this after I run through the entire EU. Everyone keeps asking what I'm going to do. It may not be a bad idea for me to go through all Filoni's Clone Wars so people can see I don't hate it all. There's some episodes I think are really good and really solid, but there's just as many episodes I don't like at all. And I don't mind, if I'm going to speak good about certain episodes, I don't mind tearing up other episodes either. I'm not going to sit through a whole series and just hate on every little thing. I don't think I would too. I think there's a few episodes in there that I'd actually enjoy, and a few characters. And so, like I said, Cad Bane, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was unique and different, and I liked it. Didn't feel like the Cad Bane story where he tries to trick R2-D2 and C-3PO by running his own little droid salon just so he could capture them. Oh, by the way, they're looking for Padme's wedding or birthday cake.
Yeah.
What is this, a Hanna-Barbera cartoon? Dudley Do-Right and the Dastardlies or whatever. It's so dumb. But that was the Clone Wars, you know. Flip a coin on what that week was going to be. I would let Clone Wars sit on my DVR for weeks and then be like a chore having to sit down and watch it for a few hours. I'd make sure I was doing something else, because there could be a bad episode. You could tell very early on, oh, Ahsoka, okay, let me read a book or something while this plays in the background, you know. or if it's something else, okay, you got my interest. Oh, good, this is a two-parter. excellent. So that means the next one will be interesting. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think that at the end of the day, like for all of us, and I've seen some very persuasive videos and stuff of why Clone Wars doesn't belong in Legends, and it's right. You can also make those videos about why Clone Wars doesn't belong in Star Wars canon, period, because of the mistakes that it makes between episodes 2 and 3, the multiple times that Obi-Wan meets Grievous, like the multiple times that they dual count Dooku, and it's very clear what was intended by that statement, you know, when the fight between Anakin and Dooku, right? So, but it's, to me, headcanon is a slippery slope, and because you're never going to have everybody agree on what should and shouldn't be canon. So what we take is the official Lucasfilm stance. And, you know, before in 2014, it was part of canon and part of the EU.
I would also say the introduction of Grievous in episode 3 means nothing to you. He's just a bumbling idiot. Because that's really what he is in Clone Wars. And so if you see him in the movie, you're like, oh, there's the moron. They're going to get the top, you know. So when Obi-Wan fights him again, you know, he's going to win because Obi-Wan always wins. He's not in danger. He's fought Grievous several times in the Clone Wars. I mean, so it's really, it was done with no consideration of episode 3. It was just Filoni what he wanted to do and Lucas not really caring because it wasn't his story.
I would agree. Everything they did with Grievous seemed like it was just bad, in my opinion, throughout the entire series.
I'm not here to tear Clone Wars apart. I'm just here to say that, yeah, I agree. We all agree. We think it should stay in there. And there are some good things from that turned out. Because I'll be honest, Abeloth, Fate of the Jedi, I got it. I loved it. I didn't like those episodes, but I was like, hey, that's a good example of how you can grab a bad guy. You know, because there has to be a mother if there was a father. Okay, I'll accept that. And I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it. I don't think people should tear it. If you don't like it, I understand. As for a quick fix, as you know, in Force and Destiny from Fantasy Flight Games, they gave us that little one blurb. Official or not, I don't know. Fantasy Flight gave me the, that's a good interpretation. I can neither confirm nor deny, you know. But the thing is, though, Fantasy Flight threw that in there last minute, I bet you, just to say, we know Clone Wars doesn't match up, so here's our take on it. And to be honest, Dylan, I think you called that a long time ago, that you always kind of imagine, because everything starts as a war reel, an old movie war reel. You say, hey, probably that's just propaganda. And that's what they say. It's cotton or propaganda, or some of it is. You know, they don't say what. It's just a one, you know, paragraph or 2 paragraph blurb. But at the same time, I thought that was a nice little, you know, fast patch over it, which is fine too. But I agree exactly with what Ryan and Brian are saying, that you cannot still get over the conflicts or the just, you know, if they don't even, it's not, they didn't even know that episode 3 existed, and it doesn't mesh well. It doesn't mesh well at all. Forget the EU. It just doesn't mesh well with just the movies.
Yeah, if you were to
movies either. And I talked a lot about this on my review on it, so I'm not going to talk any more on it. But yeah, I agree. I think it should stay in there, and it is what it is, and that's what Lucasfilm says. I'll even go one further. I consider the Lost episodes part of Legends because they were made underneath that same umbrella.
I do.
The rough ones. If they remade them for the new series, I don't know. But I did buy the Lost episodes when they came out. You know, back when it had been canceled, that was done.
Here's the Lost episodes. You talking about all the unfinished ones, or the season 6 that came out?
Well, that was season 6, right? The completed, and then
season 6 actually had fully completed ones that they did put out there. That's when like Yoda had the one where he was following Qui-Gon's voice, and he met Darth Bane, who looked like trash on Korriban, which was called Moraband.
Yeah, weren't there some unfinished things on the DVD too?
I don't know if they were on the DVD because I never got the DVD. I only watched it on Netflix when it came out because I was not going to buy.
Oh, I understand. I think on the DVD they put these out online a long time ago. 4 uncompleted ones. I want to say that was on the DVD. Does anyone I mean, maybe I saw them on StarWars.com and I thought they were on my DVD, but
I remember watching them streamed. I have the DVDs.
Okay.
I don't think they were on there.
okay. Well,
so
then
like the Bad Batch arc that we did get in season 7, it was a little bit changed, but nothing big. There was the Ahsoka running around in the underground of Coruscant. That was significantly changed by Dave Filoni and Disney, because instead of what we saw in those like very rough edits, instead of Nick Sokami, this male love interest that Ahsoka was supposed to have, it got changed to 2 sisters that they had a girl power kind of trip with. So that did get pretty significantly changed for Disney, and then
that was in their season 7 release.
Correct.
So I did not see the season 7 episodes.
what do you think George Lucas would say if he didn't write that, if he didn't sign that, non-disclosure act or whatever? He can't talk about the new stuff.
Whatever was on his mind.
Contract.
Whatever was on his mind. That's a very diplomatic answer there, Vice President.
I'll fix it in a special edition.
Yeah.
Well, we got to talk about this. That's the thing with George Lucas, is that like you can't really pin him to one thing. Really,
No.
His mind always changes on stuff. Yeah. Like he'll say something one day, and then like 3 days later, he'll say the exact opposite.
Yeah.
He'll make statements like when someone asks him about the expanded universe, I don't really read those things. I don't know what's in them. And then a couple days later, they'll be like, what would your story for the sequels have been? He's like, well, it's not really a secret. It's about the son,
kids.
the father, and the grandchildren. And that's not a secret. That's even in the novels.
Yeah. He told me that. And that was the interview right after he sold to Disney. He's like, well, like in the books. He said that's that story, and I was like, oh, but then of course but see, the thing is though, he did have a yes/no checklist that people would ask him, and he'd give directions and advice, and that's all it was just a yes/no thing. I actually got to read another magazine article. I'm doing Matt Chat on it, where it's more stuff where they said it was so exciting to ask George Lucas a set of questions. They had to be yes/no, so he could check it off. But sometimes he would scribble something else on there, no, but you can do this, and they thought that was so cool that they were, kind of submitting a questionnaire to George every once in a while about getting guidance on Star Wars. So again, just more proof that he had more involvement in the expanded universe than he had in the Clone Wars.
I mean, he had involvement in a lot of things. He was a very hands-on kind of guy. And that's a lot of, when I talk to a lot of people who love Clone Wars, they talk about how involved he was in Clone Wars. And like, yeah, because he was involved in like everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he was more involved in the other, in the Ewok movies. He got to direct all the reshoots. I mean, shoot, and he gets writing credits and other things too. So I don't know. It's just kind of, anyway, wrap up this one about Clone Wars so we can stop talking about it. And so the answer is we all think, and by the way, I did not ask the other guest this, so we're all on the same page there. All right. So it stays because it's Lucasfilm. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But it is part of it. Again,
ultimately for that reason, yeah.
That headcanon is a slippery slope.
Yeah, it is a dangerous one. I agree.
Next topic we wanted to talk about was our latest attempt for Legends. We felt like we could talk about it. Everyone's been asking what next. Shoot, guys, we had a billboard up for 6.5 months. What else do you want? I mean, golly. But there was something in the works. We didn't say anything about it because we had to know first for ourselves. And believe me, if this would have been pulled off, it would have been great.
It would have been amazing.
This was direct. We went straight to Lucasfilm.
Yep.
I mean, we were talking with them. And in the trying times that, the pandemic's put on Twin Sons, they can't make book deliveries right now. They can't get in schools, and hospitals are the last thing we're ever going to visit. That and Opo's home. That's the last 3 things. Well, 2 of those things on that list of things that will be the last thing to open is the main spots where Twin Sons makes their donations. And so a good idea was brought up that we would maybe, get able to post some non-canon Legends short stories at no charge, just to get something out for those kids that in those hospitals, or they're located in the schools, but they can just go home and read, and a lot of them are schooling from home right now. So something that for fun.
And the idea was to go to some of the authors out there that had written in the Legends
to donate
universe.
stories. And I truly believe if we would have gotten Lucasfilm's permission, I know there's a lot of big name ones who would have definitely signed on for that. But we had to get Lucasfilm's permission for something like that first. So we did. It took a couple of months to get a decision on it because they had to talk to a bunch of people. As I recall, legal was one of them and a few others. So after getting back with all that, we finally heard back that the decision was a polite no. They understood the reasoning for it. They agreed with that, but they just didn't feel like that was it. I kind of suggested that it's probably a slippery slope for them, because if they grant one charity something for free, then every charity is going to come with their hand out. And so then there was a counter offer made to purchase the rights to do that.
Right. Which was an interesting situation. They said that we could approach Disney to purchase the rights to publish existing Legend stories.
Yeah, they
specifically directed us to existing.
But they directed us, I forgot about that. They directed us to Disney.
Yes.
For that. And I was like, but you're Lucasfilm. But they directed us someone at Disney. So it was kind of interesting. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
We had talked about it afterwards, and again, there was a no on that, but then that's when kind of rumors abound, not from this incident, but you hear the rumors out there.
Yeah.
And again, Ryan had to explain it to me prior to us going on this stream here, that I didn't know what the world between, what was the world between worlds? What is it?
The world between worlds, and you're hearing the veil of the Force thrown around a lot. Here's the thing: this rumor, made up rumor, came out last year at some point that Disney is going to retcon the sequel trilogy using the world between worlds. Now, we obviously talk about the expanded universe here. Star Wars Rebels is not the expanded universe, but that's what they're referencing. In Star Wars Rebels, there is, they call it the world between worlds. It's these portals that you can use to travel into different times and different areas of space. And Ezra Bridger uses it to save Ahsoka Tano. It's basically time travel. That's kind of what it is. And in a way, so there are rumors that they're going to use that to retcon a lot of things in the sequel trilogy. One, it's never going to happen because that would be, think of what that would mean. All the things that Disney has been pushing with this sequel trilogy. Ooh, the first female lead in Star Wars. Not the first, I guess you did have Rogue One, but first, the big female lead for our sequel trilogy. You had a person of color with a huge role in Finn. You had LGBTQ representation and a kiss in Rise of Skywalker. So you're telling me that all these things and the billions of dollars you've made, you're going to say that's all a mistake. We're going to retcon that. If you like that, go F yourself. We're just getting rid of it. It's not going to happen. Disney doesn't need to do it, first of all. But one of the things in there was this person who made up this rumor said that they would be looking at placing the sequels in Legends.
I heard that rumor, yeah.
And that tells me that person has no idea what they're talking about.
Well, when the Marvel Epic Collections came out, they put the Legends banner on the Infinities one.
Yeah, everything like that is Legends now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have heard rumors from a good friend of mine. Even thinks this, that he thinks this means that Mandalorian and whatnot is going to just tie in and open up a pathway for Legends. And the reason for rejection was they're going to be making more Legends again. I'll believe it when I see it. Right now, I am highly skeptical as well. I just don't see that. Again, this is not something I'm against trying again a year or so later down the road, or whenever, especially if there's a big shakeup anywhere. I guess we'll have to go straight to Disney.
That's what it sounds like.
Which is odd. I forgot about that. But anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. And I don't think it means that Legends is coming back. There are some who would say this, and they point to some of this kind of stuff, and they think this is what's, we have people who just want to see things connect and want to open up. Just give us a window to where you can give us more legends. I get that, but I would not get my hopes up on that.
You guys mentioning your request to publish existing legend stories. Well, the idea of them selling the rights to legends, to me, could be problematic because they're using legends for their stories. They're using things that happened for Mandalorian. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they are using and bastardizing elements of the EU to write these stories. The quest from Knights of the Old Republic, where you go to a crate dragon and you lure it out of its cave and use explosives to kill it, and all these things. That was a shot for shot, like couple.
I heard that
in The Mandalorian. So that is one reason why, even if they don't intend to do anything with it, they may be very hesitant to sell it because they're still using and farming those ideas.
Well, we did get permission for the reprints.
Well, no, we didn't get permission. We said we can ask permission.
Yeah, they did say we could ask for permission.
We could ask for permission for that. I'm sorry, yeah.
It wasn't one of the things that they outright said no to, which I found interesting.
New legends was the thing.
Yeah, which in some ways is also interesting, but yeah.
and again, I don't think this is a way to despair either, because at the same time, I mean, anything can happen, right? You never say never, and then this comic book comes out. I mean, and I'll be honest, that Del Rey and Marvel, I know directly from Marvel because I've talked to Marvel, they'd love to make more legends. That's why they keep reprinting that stuff, because they know it's selling. And they're listening, they're pointing out there what's selling. Okay, let's reprint this. We got the right to reprint. They can't do new, but they know if they do new, it would sell. Sure, go right ahead, Brian.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about it because I haven't had time to really look into it, but there have been a lot of rumors out there that either the Knights of the Old Republic games are getting a remake or a re-release or a sequel. I don't know. Ryan, do you know anything about that?
I think he may know something about that.
I do. So I've actually been talking about this for over a year because before Rise of Skywalker released, I made a prediction. I said, listen, I think that it's pretty clear that what they have going on with what Disney did, there's really not a future there. So I said, I think they're going to go back and take stories from the EU and use them. And that's what we're seeing. And really soon after that, we saw Revan. The name Revan was in a Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary as one of the Sith legions. That was the name of one of them. They were named after former Sith lords. So then the name Revan did get recanonized in Disney. And from that point, we started hearing these rumors. Now, this newest one is kind of a year-old rumor about a KOTOR. People don't know if it's a remake or a remaster. Well, from what I'm hearing, and again, this has been out there for a while, it's a reimagining, folks. It's a reimagining, which is the worst case scenario. Yeah. It is what it sounds like is that they are going to take elements from Knights of the Old Republic and KOTOR 2, and they're going to mesh them together, and they're going to ruin it in order for it to fit into Disney canon.
So are they going to try to push it into their High Republics thing that they're doing right now, or
they can't leave it at the same, they can't leave it at 4,000 years before, because I'll tell you now, in the High Republic, 200 years, Disney's High Republic, set 200 years before the prequels, they are just establishing hyperspace lanes in the Outer Rim.
That would be pretty hard to do anything 4,000 years old at that point.
Yeah,
it's very different.
Lightsabers can stop your fall.
Yes.
Do they now? They've kind of just changed the whole day. Now, the lightsabers can do so many cool things now. You can fly with them.
You can.
You can do.
I don't know why you would need that. You just lay up Poppins.
It's like I just, why didn't anyone in the old expanded universe think about this? Oh wait, I think I know.
I don't know why
were lightsabers cool enough on their own.
I'm not sure how no one thought of a beam of light which has no mass. Being able to propel someone in the air like helicopter blades. Only the great Dave Filoni could have figured that out. So kudos.
Instead of just using the force to cause themselves to fly,
Yeah, the force, or maybe like repulsor lift technology in your boots, or jetpacks, or anything that you could have done. But no,
I remember when that happened. Pablo said that he loved it. He loved that idea. The same man who shuddered when he said that episode 7, one of the things they thought was calling it Shaz the Empire. Oh, can you imagine that? Oh, okay. Shaz the Empire, bad. Flying lightsabers, great. He thought it was cool.
Maybe he was thinking about that one particular scene in Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah. Well, as we all know, the worst thing that the expanded universe ever did was bring the Emperor back to life with a clone. So I'm really thankful that the sequel trilogy hasn't done that.
I mean, every person who wrote that hateful article about the 7 things the EU that was completely stupid, number 1 was always clone Emperor. Number 1. All of them. They love to hate on the. And now, I'm not hearing those.
Now that they'll still go on about Skippy the droid, though. That's still.
You think, and one of them was Jackson the Green Bunny Rabbit, but they can't even talk about him because now he's in the new canon.
He was back in Marvel issue 1. He was on one of the variant covers, I believe.
He was on one of the variant covers, but he's been. I heard he's been shown. He has a canon page. So, I mean,
I don't follow it closely enough to know that, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, did you know Platt O'Keefe is canon now?
I heard that.
Games.
I heard that. Heard that. It's some strange stuff.
Wait, what's she doing with a canon page?
Oh, there you go.
And here's we can talk about this. I know a lot of people hate that, and I mean, I've even said that this is where they're getting their creativity, folks, from the expanded. They said this is inhibiting our creativity, which is why we have to get rid of it. No, this is your story group right here. They books.
Well, I will say, I don't think the story group does anything, honestly, but I will say that at least Favreau, has been very upfront about he has said that he wants to use stories from the EU. Like he's said that, so I don't appreciate it when they pop in, but at least he's not pretending like that's not where they're pulling their stuff. So
he's being honest, which is what Filoni never was. He was never honest with the fans. I do want to mention though that when we were talking to Lucasfilm, they were not hostile to us at all.
At all. They've always been. They've always been pretty friendly towards Twin Suns Foundation. Yeah. Despite us being the guys that put up the billboards, which I'm sure all of them absolutely love.
But to be fair, we told. Can we say that?
Can we say?
We let Lucasfilm know.
Yeah, we do. We tell them ahead of time. We do.
We told Lucasfilm ahead of time. This is what we're doing. Just to let you know, you're going to see something in your front yard come tomorrow, and maybe
do that.
6.5 months. We didn't say that because we didn't know how long it's going to be, but we did inform them.
We do, and it's because they recognized us as an official fan club. It's only fair for us to be honest and upfront with them, our activities and what we're doing if we're an official fan club.
And I've never heard one sigh or roll the eyes or anything like that. They're like, okay, because they understand there's a lot of fans out there that like it, but someone somewhere wants to focus on their new story. Or someone's somewhere want to do that, and for right now. But I mean, this isn't a time just to give up and everything. And but I also think that that it was a good try. What we should do next, I mentioned this before, a Rebel raid, old school Rebel raid again. I think we got enough people to be something fun to do. Haven't done that in forever. That'd be fun.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things we can do still. I really did like this idea. It's sad that it didn't go through, but we all kind of knew it was going to be a little bit of a long shot. If it was going to happen, it would have been amazing.
I believe I called it Operation Death Star Run.
Yeah. We needed a Luke Skywalker on that one. Huh?
I used to shoot wop rats, in my backyard that weren't no bigger than that exhaust pipe. That's
2 meters.
2 meters. That's about as big as Pablo's. Okay, anyway,
You want to bring up the people that want to say Luke Skywalker's a Gary Stu because he made that shot, even though the T-16 Skyhopper's controls are basically exactly the same as the Incom T-65 X-Wing.
But he had no practice.
But here's the thing. They already this is how you write a good movie. When Luke's talking about this is not a problem, I do this all the time with harder shot things. I mean, I'm moving from a fast flying thing and I can shoot womp rats who are that big. I mean, I can do this. And everyone's going, whatever, he just bragging. No, he actually did that. He had nothing better to do and Tatooine for crying out loud. So they already established that he's a little bit of a, country bunkin' sharp shooter. And so he does it. And plus he has the Force.
Right.
Okay. This is his first test with the Force, which is what Ben's been trying to tell him, to close his eyes. Don't trust his senses, trust the Force. It was all set up earlier in the movie, not just magically.
Turned off your targeting computer. What's wrong?
Whenever we need to dig into a magic MacGuffin bag and then pull out exactly what we need with no pretext, with or a subtext before, you just go ahead and just pull through. No, it's actually a good, well-built story. But anyway, all right. So I think we've said all that we can say here about that. So short topic today, but that's okay. That's my fault. I should have added a third one. Our third one was going to be why Ryan doesn't shave his beard.
Because I just don't want to, and it just looks glorious. I did
about my hair.
I was going to say it's supposed to be the same reason why Matt's letting his hair grow.
I did at one point, I actually did trim it. Like at one point I trimmed it down. It was I wish I hadn't, because it'd probably be down to here or something by now.
I mean, what evil wizard there.
I know.
All right. Hey, folks, you can check out some exclusive Ryan EU videos on the expandeduniverse.com coming later this month, I hope. I don't know. I haven't even seen them. I was promised them a week or so ago. But you can see that. You can also see Ryan on his channel where he's complaining about things. Ryan, what's next?
I don't know yet. I'm just looking for something for people to be angry about, scrolling, the toxic fandom.
Yeah.
But you never know. It's usually something about Star Wars, about video games, or about comics,
or about the day of the week. I mean, you guys are never happy on anything.
Yes.
No, but check out Ryan's channel. Get you a T-shirt too. I have 2 now.
I was the 6,000th sub to Matt's channel, just so you guys know.
With my what did you do when you hit 6,000, Ryan?
I don't know. I was at 10,000 a couple days after that. So,
okay. And then Brian, you can check them out on the Twin Sons website. They also have their own YouTube channel. They do some playthroughs where they talk. They have a bunch of fun. They have too much fun.
And we do have a little bit too much fun on that.
You had one just last week, right?
We try to go every Sunday. It doesn't work out that way, unfortunately, most of the time. But about every Sunday, roughly midday U.S. time, it's usually when we're on.
I've been playing a lot of SWTOR lately, actually.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because I'm the furthest I've ever made it in the expansions is the Shadow of Revan. So
you barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, I know. So I want to get through those because I watch a lot of the recaps, the YouTube videos that people make of the stories, but I've never really been able to play through them. So
they can take a while.
And consider I've been a subscriber since the day SWTOR launched. I figure I probably have got my money's worth. Probably should actually get these stories that I've been paying hundreds, thousands of dollars for over the past.
I'll put it this way: if you're a fan of Revan and the Expanded Universe, you should definitely play through the most recent stuff because it is very, very good. I had the fortune of listening to the audiobook for the Revan novel while I was playing through that, and it was perfect timing. I'll just put it that way.
There you go. And by the way, finally, you can catch Dylan when you least expect him in the backseat of your car. Just turn around, he'll be there. Probably breathing on your neck. All right. Well, again, thank you, guests. Thanks for coming on. We'll do this again next month with more exciting topics that don't include the Clone Wars. All right.